We are back with more Mondraker content coming fresh from Spain. These Mondraker eMTBs are just blowing us away. The more we ride them, the more we're falling in love with them. The zero suspension, the forward geometry, and the choice between Shimano and Bosch, two great e-bike motors, really makes the entire lineup something that you should be looking out for. Today, we're checking out the Mondraker Dusk RR. This is an enduro all-mountain eMTB that caught my attention when I took out 2020's model, and the 2021 Dusk RR is even better. But you don't just have to take my word for it. We're gonna have me go on it. We're gonna have Austen go on it, so you can see two riders from two different levels. Check out the Mondraker Dusk RR. Honestly, it's probably a little bit more suited for Austen. This bike is intense, but I really liked its climbing capability and also its ability to go on single track, the type of stuff I like to ride on. Before we continue, subscribe to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel if you want to see more Mondraker content and Class 1 eMTB shredding in general. You're gonna have Austen riding, you're gonna have Hector riding, and then sometimes you're stuck with me riding. But not today. We are checking out the Mondraker Dusk RR. Let's check it out. So after that little teaser of Austen riding, we've got some specs to check out. So let's talk about specs, baby.
Let's talk about specs, baby.
Starting off with the drivetrain, you have got a Shimano Dior XT Shadow Plus 12-speed derailleur on a 10 to 51 tooth cassette in the back. This is going to offer a ton of climbing ratio, some really solid climbing, which you want on an enduro bike because you're gonna be going up some hefty stuff. That's partnered with the Shimano EP8 motor, now with 85 Newton meters of torque. I was blown away by the Shimano EP8. Go check out our review of that motor. And you have the optional range extender on the Shimano EP8 to get a full 990 watt hours of battery life. But it does come with a 630 watt hour battery standard. Of course, with all this power and all this downhill capability, you are going to want some strong brakes, and you got them on this. 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes from Shimano. Those are gonna be the M6120s on 203mm rotors front and rear. To me, suspension is kind of where bikes are made or broken, and gosh, is this bike made like Tony Soprano. A little mafia joke? Anybody gonna get that? Up front, you've got 160 millimeters of travel in the Fox 36 Float Factory Kashima coated with a Fit 4 damper, one of my favorite forks, and you would expect to see it on this level of bike, so I'm glad it's there. And then the rear shock is the Fox Float DPS, but I think it works a lot better than DPSs on other bikes because you've also got that zero suspension. So the zero suspension setup really makes for a plush but rigid feel when you do need it to be a little bit more rigid. It's plush on the downhills, rigid on the uphills. I really love the zero suspension setup. And again, go watch our Mondraker intro if you don't know about the zero suspension setup. It's a very unique and proprietary to Mondraker setup that you need to know about if you're gonna buy one of these bikes. Speaking of the suspension on that zero suspension system, you're gonna have really nice pedaling on this bike because the effective seat tube angle is 76 degrees. Really solid for pedaling uphills, but also not gonna kill you on the downhills when you wanna be ripping really fast. So that is a 76-degree seat tube angle, and the head tube angle is gonna come in at 65.5 degrees. And then your chainstay lengths are gonna be 455 millimeters. That'll help keep you on the ground when you are climbing uphill, but you can still be pretty playful on the downhills as well, and it helps with downhill speed too, having those a little bit longer. It is gonna be a 29er wheel set on this bike. You've got Maxxis Recon tires. They are 2.6 inches wide. It's a tubeless ready setup. I would recommend going tubeless. I am consistently impressed with Mondraker. They have these massive batteries, but I think that Shimano motor keeps things a little bit lighter weight. It's 23 kilograms, which translates to just over 50 pounds, which is pretty competitive, especially for a battery that big. But as you guys know, specs alone do not make a bike, so we are gonna hand things over to Austen right now so you can see him shredding on this bike. He's definitely gonna put the bike through its paces more than I did, but I will tell you my thoughts too when we get back from him. But for right now, let's check out Austen on this bike. Austen, take it away, brother.
Alrighty, let's drop in. We're real close to this first jump, so gonna need a little bit of pop to get over it. Luckily, this Fox suspension and playful frame is great at that. Here we go. Woo! Now we'll slowly pick up some speed over the first double into the little road gap. And then we'll send it off the big booter. See how the suspension takes it. First time on this bike. Woo! All right, let go of the brakes, pick up speed and send it into the dip. Woo! All right, these tires are gonna be a little loose on this corner. All right. Woo! Over the bushes. Oh man, I'm loving this bike so far. Like I said, so playful for a 29er. Scrub this. Send it off the inside drop. Let's check the drop before I hit it. That's always rule number one. Okay. Drop is good. There's not a log laying in the middle of it. Alrighty, now that we checked the landing's good, let's roll on into it. Really see how the suspension takes it. Here we go. Nah, no problem at all. So we'll head into another little drop right after this. Woo! Alrighty, let's run the last section here on the Dusk RR. Hit a few bigger drops, a little step up, some flow through the woods. Yeah, let's see how the bike handles it. So far, absolutely loving the forward geometry. I can't get over it. Bike just feels amazing, even for a 29er. Like I said, I'm a 27.5-inch guy on these e-bikes, and this has definitely changed my mind a little bit. Feels a lot more snappier and responsive. So let's go. All right, so we're gonna go right into this drop, then hit this awkward wood step up that I never hit, but might as well just to see how it goes. Oh, not enough speed. Haha. Let's get speed through here so we can go fast through the trees. Let's get to the bottom. That means no brakes. Woo. Setting off the wood drop at the bottom. Ah, a little too deep. Whew, and that is it.
So for me, what I love about these Mondraker bikes is that they have an enduro heart, but it's not like intimidatingly enduro, I don't think. They climb really well, which is something that's super important to me. I like not having to worry about whether or not I'm gonna get up the hill. The Shimano EP8 motor is excellent for that, but there's no doubt that the ride on the Mondraker is unparalleled. I mean, I am really starting to love this brand. I've gotten to ride the Crafty Carbon now, and this is my first time on the Dusk RR for 2021, and I was blown away. I'm always so blown away with the Mondrakers, how well they handle, because again, these are enduro bikes, which aren't known for their, handling through single track sections at all. It's for downhill straight line speeds. but because of that forward geometry, the shorter stem, they shorten that up for you so that you have better steering and more maneuverability on this enduro bike. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Flyrides Electric Bike channel if you found this helpful. If you want more Mondraker content, go check out our Mondraker playlist or check out FlyRidesUSA.com to see pricing on these bikes. The full lineup is on there now. And until next time, enjoy the ride.